Hey guys, welcome back to Zero's Hobbies, and it is another orc video. I know, I'm a little silly, but whatever. It's orcs. It's the WA. So, I said before, I bought the game Speedfreeks about 4 years ago, and I bought 2 of the extra buggies because I really like the buggies. The whole idea of them is just way cool, and they've been sitting on the shelf for a really long time. Until now, so and I'm finally back at hobbying and painting and crafting and all that stuff. So I'm really trying to get this done. I watched Mad Max Fury Road, just a great film, and I was inspired to let's crack this open and get these guys painted. But today we're gonna take a look at the Rukkatrukk Squigbuggie from Warhammer 40K for the orcs. This is by far one of the hardest models to find in this line, in my opinion, because of what it does in the game. In last edition, it was considered an artillery piece that could do indirect fire. So everybody was buying these bad boys up. You know what I'm saying? And the price, when I got Speedfreeks, the models were 38 bucks a piece. Now they're $51 a piece. Inflation, whatever. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, I kicked myself for not just getting them earlier. But here it is. Let's get to the table, crack it open, and see what comes inside. Sit tight. Here we are with the Warhammer 40K Orcs Rukkatrukk Squigbuggie. I've been trying to get this for a while, and the prices just keep going up. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna have to pull the trigger and just grab one. I finally found one, and I just bought it. Apparently, this is one of the better buggies because of the squig launcher. It's like an artillery piece, so it doesn't need line of sight. Don't quote me on that because I haven't read the rules for them for 10th edition yet, but that's what the story is. So, I mean, this one's painted in the snakebite color scheme, the browns and the yellows. All right, let's check this bad boy out. It actually comes in a tray. What the? And the instructions. Got your model and your huge base. Let's take a quick look at the instructions. Full color. Just in case I didn't say it before or 100 times before, the blue parts are the parts being added. The yellow is where you're putting the glue to attach these parts. Oh, this is like a fold-out pamphlet. Look at that. AKA Gundams. If you build Gundams, you're used to this type of pamphlet. And there's the last bit. And then it has stats, but I believe these might be for 9th edition. I don't know. Or maybe I think they're 9th, but whatever. I remember when these came out, when Speedfreeks came out like 4 years ago. And I picked up the Speedfreeks box set, and I picked up 2 of the other buggies. I picked up the Scrapjet and the Boondocka Snazwagon. And I had intended to pick up these 2, but again, this one was really hard to find, and I just slept on it. You know what I mean? And then now they're like 20 bucks more than what they were when they first released, which was crazy, crazy. All right, let's take a look at the sprue. And they're all these buggies are on one sprue, which is kind of cool. It's like you're just, you get it and you're done. You're not hunting through sprues to build this model like most of the other bigger kits. But it's fine because these guys are small. They're not huge. This is a tiny little truck too. There you go. Again, it's got like a ton of detail, man. Like, just crazy amounts of detail, which is very cool. Like, makes these things very unique looking, or at least unique looking to the army. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's an orc buggy. You know what I mean? You don't, is that a Space Marine? Nah, that's an Ork buggy. All right, here's base. It's 150 mil oval. Which I find interesting because all these kits came with bases, which is cool. I don't like vehicles just there like rhinos and stuff. Like I get it, you know what I mean? And I get that it would be way too big to put a rhino on a base, and it's a tank, so it's kind of like really stable, and it's got some weight to it. But like these little ones, it's like, nah, I think they should go on bases, like, because you're really defining where they can and can't go in terrain. Like if I took these cars off the bases, I could squeeze them into smaller places they're not supposed to go into, or shouldn't, I should say, which makes sense. You know what I mean? But yeah, these are pretty cool. All right, and notice that this one did not come with any decals, but that's okay, because you know most of the things with the Orks is, aside from their little logos, like their little clan logos or culture logos or whatever you want to call it, you're free to paint these however you want. You don't have to use this paint scheme. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good thing, because I wasn't going to use this paint scheme anyway for these guys, but you know, it's a great reference. Like if you really need, like, I don't know anything about Orks, I will paint this guy like this because that's what the box shows, and that's fine. That's totally okay. But for more experienced players or builders, you know, we can, with the Orks, you can, each vehicle can be painted completely different from the other, which is so cool because, you know, I have so many armies, and I play Space Marines, I've got Space Wolves, I got Imperial Fists, you know, don't ask. But painting 10 Space Marine vehicles is monotonous. So people, like, I'll throw in stripes here or there, or a patch of different color here or there just to have some variation. But otherwise, you're painting 10 yellow vehicles or 10, you know, Space Wolf colored vehicles, and they're all the same, you know, which is cool because the Space Marines are like that. They're very uniform and utilitarian. But the Orks, man, the Orks allow for very creative outlet. Like if you're an artist and you have just a creative flavor, the Orks are perfect for that, because you can paint them whatever the heck you want, and they can all be different from each other. I mean, you want to keep them somewhat uniform, like the green skin, or maybe you have red skinned Orks or blue skinned Orks, which is red skins are totally cool. But you could paint them however you want. Anyway, I rambled on. Let's get this guy over to the table, and I'll build him, and then I'll get right back to you guys. All right, sit tight. All right, here it is, the Rukkatrukk Squigbuggie. I broke this down into sub-assemblies because I want to paint it, and I want to get all the stuff covered. So I have the wheels sticky tacked. It's a cool little buggy. Reminds me of one of those ranchero style, where it's got the flat bed on the back instead of an actual bed, which is kind of cool. The driver's not glued in either. I just have them in there for, you know. Again, I'm painting all the models separately, and this one has a ton of like gubbins and miniatures to go with it. You got a little bale of squigs there, or squiglings. It's pretty cool. Gave you a couple little accessories to add to it, like a little gas can and stuff like that. And this actually came with. This came with something else, and I just glued it there because it came with 3 of them, and I was like, I'm not putting 3 of these on one vehicle. The little buzz saws there is really cool, and I gave it a base that I felt like gave it some kind of like, I didn't want to just put it on a flat base, so I gave it some kind of action, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like it's climbing up, you know, just trying to get up that hill. A little skull there, a little skull and jawbone. You know, it's not 40K without skulls, right? But yeah, I did this. There's a Kroot skull in there, and you know, I did the same thing. I used cork, sand here, you know, and that's pretty much it. This open space, I'm gonna be using texture paints, so that's why I left a lot of it open. And I did this with almost every one of the buggies that I have. But yeah, it's not a bad vehicle, you know. Let's put it this way. And it also comes with a ton of guys. So we've got this guy getting ready to launch another squig. You know, supposedly these things were designed to like be like chow wagons, so like they would be on a wah, and these trucks would pull up next to people and shoot squigs so they could eat them, which, you know, that's what orcs do. And there's this guy hanging off the back of the truck, which is hilarious because he's bare. He's a snake bite, but he's barefoot. So I got to do something creative with that. But yeah, he's hanging off the back, and he's got a tiny, you see, little tiny grot cheering him on. We have this little Gretchen handling squigs. You know, you throw that in the back of the truck. And then we have this little guy sitting in the passenger seat trying to figure out how to operate the big squig launcher. And then here we have the roll bar that goes, you know, in front. Just like that, I think, you know, kind of. But again, I didn't want to glue it because then I'd have to glue this guy down, and I don't want to glue this guy down yet. I want to paint it all, and then I'll glue it together. But there you go. Pretty cool little model. I've been waiting for this truck forever. Like, you know, it was available. I swear to God, it was available 4 years ago for $38. All of them were. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get them all because I bought Speedfreeks. And I was like, oh, I got to get them. I started getting sick. I couldn't get to them. You know what I mean? And then finally this year I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get them because I watched the prices steadily go up. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Now they're $51 a piece. And I'm like, it hurts because I know what they're worth. You know what I mean? But I really want a speed wash, so I just picked it up. And I was like, I'm just going to grab them and be done with the set. If I want more later, I don't know, look for 3D printed ones, or, you know what I mean? Maybe scratch build one. I don't know. But there you go. That's my little story. Pretty good buggy. I stat wise, it's pretty cool. I mean, the last thing I think about when buying a miniature is stats. I don't care about that. I want them to be good in the game, of course, but I don't care about that. Honestly, my whole goal is to build cool models and paint cool models, and that's it. Like, I have a theme for this orc army, and I'm sticking with it regardless. And that's it. I mean, win or lose, I don't really care. I just want to have fun. I just want to get back to playing 40K because I haven't played since 8th edition, and it's hard. You know, I've been on quarantine, so I can't go out and can't be around people. So, you know, it's difficult. So I'm getting this stuff ready because I want to, you know, get it on the table and have fun. You know what I mean? And that's what the orcs are about. Orcs are about having fun. I've never met at a table an unhappy orc player, win or lose. Never met one. So, you know, hopefully that'll rub off. But there you go, Rukkatrukk Squigbuggie, pretty cool. See if you can get it on discount somewhere, you know, or to a local shop. If you got discounts through local shops, that's the best way to go. But it's a cool little addition to the Speed Wah, and that's pretty much what it's all about, Speed Wah. All right, guys. As always, like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you on the next one.